Hey guys, greetings from Serpent Consulting Services Private Limited. I just hope that you guys are doing well and staying safe. My name is Ninad Bhatt, and let's just go ahead with the third video of our series wherein we are discussing Fleet Reservation Management System. So as you can see right now, we are onto the opening screen of our solution. Let us just switch to our application which we are going to use, which is going to be Fleet, of course. And prior I start discussing the further features, in this video, I just presume that you might have gone through the earlier two parts of the series as well. But in the first video, we discussed about the major menu items with some basic navigation things. And in the second video, we discussed about the configuration thing, how we can configure our solution, how we want our solution to be, and how we pre-enter the data which we want in all the other parts and all the other portions of a solution. All right. So let us just start with this video. And in this video, we are going to discuss about how a fleet is being registered into the solution and how the car reservation or the fleet reservation actually works. So let us just start with the first thing first, and we're going to register a vehicle as a fleet. So as we also discussed about various stages involved in this process, right? During the course, when your fleet is there with you, we are having some of the stages. In the registered stages, as you can see that these many cars have been so far registered in the solution, which will be in use, of course. So let us just start with the thing. Let's just click on create and register vehicle as a fleet. So as you can see on the screen, currently we are on the fleet registration form, wherein we are going to enter the details of our fleet, or let's say in this particular case, it's going to be cars mostly. So it will be asking us for some details about the car, right from the car company and the model, through the further details. Let's say who's going to be the driver, some of the vehicle's details, the model information, contact information, and some technical information pertaining to its engine. So far, there are only two fields which are mandatory, as we see these fields in blue. But of course, entering more details will any which way be helping us out to utilize the solution in the best way possible, I'm sure. All right, so I'm going to start with entering my car manufacturer plus my car model. We can enter the license plate like this. We can enter the tag, which will be further used if you want to have some identical thing to identify the vehicle that you have as a fleet, of course. We can enter some of the driver details over here. Another mandatory field which you can see over here is the distance, how it counts the distance. In some of the countries, it will be kilometers, and in some other countries, it might be miles. So we can choose between them. Let's say kilometers. Let's say in car model information, we want to add color. Let's say dark gray. When it comes to the engine information, let's say we are having some option to choose from. Let's say for the transmission, it's going to be either manual or automatic. As we also discussed in our earlier videos, that Odoo offers you the kind of functionality wherein if you are working with the this kind of menu, the drop-down menu, we will have an option to either search more, or we can simply create the new item, the new menu item, just by clicking on create and edit. So it will help us to create the new menu item on the go if we want. But in some other options, let's say when it comes to the transmission, we are having only two options universally. Either it can be manual or it can be automatic. So here we haven't provided that particular functionality. So let's say for this particular fleet, it's going to be automatic. Fuel type, again, we are having the universally available options, gasoline, diesel, LPG, hybrid. Let's say it's going to be electric. Following which we are having some technical information to be filled over here. Let's say the horsepower taxation, which will again be available in some of the countries. So according to your requirement, you can fill out all this information when you're registering your fleet, and you simply can click on save. But prior I saved this particular record, also I just would like to walk you through some of the smart buttons over here. We will be having the brief discussion about all these options available in the registration form. Let's say driver history, contacts, reservations, cost involved in it, services, fuel, and odometer. But again, the smart button helps us out in processing the information or using the information that we collect so far by using this solution and by also processing our fleets accordingly. So we'll talk in brief about that later. Also, we can see that the stages, we can change the stages of the fleet right from here as well. Either it can be new, it can be ordered but not registered. Since we have filled out this particular form and we are going to save this, by default, it will be there in the registered stage. Or we can simply click on any further stages as well, according to our requirements. It's going to be registered, so that we will just keep it default and we will simply click on save. So simply in the chatter, we can see some information that who was that user who registered a particular fleet. I have been logged in by my admin account. So it simply says that noted by your company. Your company is actually nothing but the company's name and the person's name who actually made some changes into the form, or let's say who registered the fleet in the system. We can go back to the vehicle. Let's just keep it remembering that the number is going to be DL4545. Click on vehicle. And as you can see over here that the fleet has been successfully registered and it's there into the registered stages of now. If you want to have some edits into the record, we simply can click on that. We can click on edit button over here and we can add some more information, or we can change the information which we already have entered. Save and going back. So this is how the fleets are being registered actually into the system. And of course, it's a very mandatory and a very key step to be taken initially, that if you want to add a vehicle into your fleets, then of course that it will be the very initial process that you first need to get it added into your fleet, right? So of course that's how we do it, and that's how the fleets are being registered into the solution. All right. So then with the first part, in the second phase of this video, as I said, that we are going to discuss that how exactly the car reservation works. So going inside the vehicles, the major menu items, vehicles, and exploring some more options, further. Currently, we are going with the car reservation. So let's go and check how the reservation thing actually works. When we go inside, we will simply have a look at the reservation which have been made earlier, right? But if you want to create the new one, simply we will click on create and we will enter all the information it asks us. Okay, now let's say the reservation name. So reservation name can be anything. It can be that much identical so that you can access it for your future references as well. Let's say if I call it drop clients. It has majority of its fields which are going to be mandatory to be filled. Of course, we will need to choose the vehicle as well, right? Which vehicle would be dropping our clients? So it's a very good thing that it lists out the vehicles by its number plate as well, with manufacturer, with car model, with number plate, so that we can easily identify our vehicle which is going to be dropping the clients, and we can simply choose from that list. Okay. Then let's add some more information when it comes to the driver. Let's say John Smith is going to drive the car and drop a client who is going to be the approver. So if I talk conceptually, there will be someone who would be entering the fleet, who would be entering the reservation details, but at the same time, we also want somebody to approve that particular reservation, right? So we have entered the details of the driver. We also need to enter the details of the I mean, who is going to be that person who is going to approve the transaction, is who is going to approve the booking of that particular fleet. So let's say, yeah, we have entered that. Then it comes to one of the dynamic menu items from here, right? Either it can be a driver who is under your payroll, I mean, who is going to be your employee. We have these options available. Let's say you want to choose a driver from your contact list, or you have an in-house team of drivers who would be driving the fleet. So if we choose to go with contacts, there will be less details to be filled over here. But if we want to choose the driver from our employees list, then this particular field will appear and we will be having another mandatory field to enter. So we can enter the same name as well. Since John Smith is one of our in-house drivers, we can simply enter the employee from here. We simply can choose the person who is going to drive the fleet. All right. Timing information. So when it comes to the timing, it can be the pre-booking thing as well. So we simply will be able to pick up the date and time. All right. So let's say, let's make it the today's date, and let's drop our clients at 7:30. So that will be the start time and end time. Today's date. If you feel that approximately it can take as long as an hour, so we simply will be able to add that thing as well. Also note that this particular format is 25 hours of format. So we simply can choose if you want to drop your clients, let's say in the evening. So you can choose the timing accordingly. It's the 19th, and from here we will be selecting 18 and 30, like that. So as far as reservation of the fleet is concerned, we can say that again, pickup and drop location is two of the uh, very mandatory thing, to be selected, right? Of course, the system should be aware that fleet would be commuting from which location to which location, right? So we're going to simply enter the pickup location from here. Let's say office to any of the location which either you may have pre-entered when we were configuring this solution, or you simply can create and edit the new one. I'm simply picking up the location from the list, let's say the drop location. We also can have some more customizations over here. We also can add some more functionalities to it. If you want to have the same thing over the map as well. So we have the freedom. Odoo offers that freedom to us, that we can integrate the map as well. And we simply can do it just by clicking on these options. All right, let's count the kilometers in distance. Let's say we believe that it's going to be 30 kilometers. We simply can enter that. Description you can add as you want, and if you simply clicking on the save button, we'll be able to book the fleet. So as you can see on the screen that it shows us some error over here. Let's say the start time should be less than the end time. So I think we're having some issues in selecting the start date or start time and end time. Let's just go and fix it from like this. Right. So doing that, it will be saving the record, and as you can see on the screen that we are having some three stages over here. Let's say new, approved, and done. So we can say that we simply have created that record, but it's to be approved by the right person, and for that we simply can click on approve. Right, the person who we have entered as an approver would be simply sent a kind of notification or like that, and once that person approves the booking, he or she simply can reserve it, and that's how it works. So going back into the list of our reserved fleets, we can say that we are having the lines of fleets which have been so far reserved, right? And in the state or in the stages, we can say that the all of those fleets which had been earlier reserved are there in the done stages, or let's say if the fleet is still in commute, or if the fleet is pre-booked to commute from the start location to the drop location, it will simply be calling like reserved. We always have an option to click back on that if you want to edit something, but still majority of fields will be disabled to be edited, because we already have entered the thing, and the approver, the person who approves the commute, has already approved the particular booking. So we will not be able to have many changes once it gets approved. So the same way, as you can see that again we can set it like done as well. Let's say let's assume the scenario where the fleet was booked to drop the clients to hotel, right? So simply by clicking on set to done, we can also notice some of the changes which is being automatically made to its stages, and in that way, practically, we can say that fleet has commuted from its start location to the hotel, and that's how the whole cycle gets completed. So again, going back into the list of our reserved fleets, or the history of our reserved fleets, we can say that the particular fleet which we had registered initially, and we have used the same fleet to drop our clients from office to hotel or to any other location that we had selected. So we can notice the same change over here into the list as well, that it's now into the done stage. So this particular list is nothing but it maintains the history of the reservations which have been performed so far into this solution. All right, guys. So thank you very much for being on this video. In the next video, we're going to discuss about some more options pertaining to our fleets and our vehicles, right? And we'll be having a look at some more options available to our fleets. Let's say the odometer count, the vehicle contracts, the fuel logs, and everything. So we'll be having a look at all these options in the next video. Thank you very much again, and have a nice day.